This is Pete Moore on Halo Talks Fast Break 2026. Happy New Year to everyone in the Halo Network. As you know, we are here to help solve loneliness, obesity, and diabetes, bringing in straight from Athens, Georgia, University of Georgia student and friend of the Square through relations and some camp networking. Ethan Bezner, welcome to your first Halo Talks.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So Ethan, we're bringing you on here because you got a couple of interesting things that you're focused on, clinically on the diabetes side and eradication of that, and then a couple funny stories. But give us a quick background on what you're doing, what you've learned so far, and what you think could be some aha moments or takeaways for our Halo network.
Yeah. So I'm a public health major at the University of Georgia with an emphasis in behavioral medicine. So my outlook for the future is the pre-med track. I'm beginning my MCAT prep now. And through this program at the University of Georgia, you learn a lot about like health policy and, current health trends and how things have changed over the years. And in one of my classes, HPRB 5410W. It's a writing workshop class. We had to write a literary review on a subject of our choice. So it was something we were passionate about, something we wanted to research about. And my mother is a type 1 diabetic. So diabetes has always been, something I've known about since I was a kid and seeing her deal with it. And so that's kind of the background for my research project.
So, how long of research project is it? How intense are you? Are you doing any kind of clinical trials? Are you aggregating research, or what are some of the takeaways that you've kind of come across so far?
So this project took every student about 3 months. There's 75 people in my cohort in my major, so that's you had to apply to be in this major, and 75 students got accepted. So per graduation year, there's 75 students, and it was in the class, so it was during one semester, and it was about 2 months of that class, 3 months of that class, and the project was based off of research that we've done on current literary reviews. So we use tools like PubMed or the UGA library or like the CDC page. And we use data from these research studies that have already been done. And we compiled them into our own paper. So my paper consisted of 3 risk factors that I identified and wanted to research and find a way to connect to the increase in early onset diabetes and type 2 diabetes from 2010 to 2020. And so that was the basis for my research project. And my risk factors that I found through my research were technological factors such as like medical equipment, and then also changes in like a more sedentary lifestyle because of technology. People are sitting on their couches all day. They're on their phone. They're not active as much. They're not outside as much. And like these are kind of things that everyone notices, but they don't know to link them. So my next one was dietary risk factors, such as increased consumptions of ultra processed foods, which are changes in our diet to make food cheaper. Expensive foods are healthier, but if you have a cheaper option and people need to save money, they're going to buy the stuff that's cheaper and more visually appealing, which unfortunately is the ultra processed foods that are placed right in front of you on these shelves. And then the last thing, or the last risk factor that I put into this project was fitness and physical trends. Like, when my dad was growing up, he likes to tell me stories about how, walking miles to school or, whatever, taking the bike, having to make his own way to school. And now, like, we don't bike anywhere anymore. Like, I walk to class at the University of Georgia because it's a super walkable campus, but people aren't outside as much doing these things.
Right. So when you take a look at the ultra processed foods, obviously there's some administrative and governmental changes. I saw that came out with kind of like a new food pyramid recently. I think serving sizes and what they put on the back of some of these packages and labels are purposely misleading. Or even when you get a bar that you think would be healthy for you, and they have the bar kind of flipped over, so you actually have to open it in order to see the actual the label and the ingredients table. What's your kind of view on there's processed sugar, there's sugar from alcohol that now they're putting on the labels as kind of like not really counts as sugar. And then I've always looked at it and said, when I had this aha moment, that 4 grams of sugar is basically like one sugar cube. And if you actually put on the label and showed like, here's how many sugar cubes you're consuming, such as a Mountain Dew, 20-ounce Mountain Dew has 14 cubes of sugar in it. You might think twice about buying that. Do you think that there's an educational component that goes to the consumer, but that there's a responsibility of either the government or responsibility of the manufacturer to be more open disclosure about these things?
Yeah, I'll answer both your questions. Yes, I think that it is a problem, and I think it is something the government needs to say, like, you need to be honest with your products. Like, this is what's in it. But the problem is the education level, like the reading level of most of the people buying these stuff, like these items in the grocery store, they don't know. And so it's something that needs to be taught. And my aha moment, as you said, was so I work at a nonprofit clinic called Mercy Health Center as their in-house phlebotomist, and I do a lot of in-house A1C tests to like check their glucose for pre-diabetes. And my aha moment was I'm sitting here, and one day, let's say I draw blood from 12 patients. 8 of these patients have A1Cs over 7. Like that's not a 1 out of 10 people or have early onset diabetes or diabetes. These people all have pre-diabetes, and I'm like, this is a trend. And this also,
Yeah,
tied into why I wanted to do this research project. It's a problem that needs to be taken care of. And it's because of people aren't educated in what's in their food and how to like eat healthy, and they don't have access to these things. It's not their fault, but they don't have access to it.
sure. Was there a funny story that you had from the lobotomy that you wanted to share?
I mean, I don't know, I have some funny stories from it. I don't know if you'll think they're very amusing.
Well,
Um,
hit us up with one.
yeah, so we had a patient come in, and the way it works is the first person who sees them are the like CNAs or whatever, like the nurse practitioners, and they take them back, and they get their vitals, height and weight, their story, what medicines they're taking, and then they go into the room, and then the doctor comes in, he does whatever, and then he comes out and goes, "Hey, Ethan, I need these tests." I go print the labs, whatever, and then I take them to the phlebotomy room and I do their tests and I package it and whatever. One of the times the doctor goes into the room, he comes out and he's holding a bed bug in his tweezers, a very big bed bug. And he goes, "All right, nobody go in this room. Like this, we're going to call, there's like a pest control medical company that deals with the stuff. They call the people to come clean the room, but the patient's in there and he needs labs." And he goes, "Ethan, I need you to go in there and draw his blood." And I'm like, "You just said nobody's going in there. I'm not going in there. Like I'm wearing scrubs. I don't have any like other equipment." Anyways, I ended up I wrapped my face in like COVID masks and my hair in COVID masks because we didn't have a hairnet at the time. And I wore like a full gown and a trash bag over my legs to like prevent, like to take everything off the second I got out of there and throw them away. And I go in and I take his blood and it's fine. I don't have bed bugs, but it was like terrifying. And meanwhile, the doctor, and I love the doctor I work for, he's taught me a lot and he's shaped the way I want to practice in the future. He's really caring. He went home to shower while I was drawing his blood
That's
just because
funny.
he didn't
What
want
what
me.
about the patient? What happened to the patient? Did he know what was going
Well, so
on? Was he exposed to the bed bugs dilemma, or maybe not necessarily exposed to the bugs?
he probably knew he had them. The patients we serve are all below the poverty line or without
Wow.
insurance or with no immigration status
Oh,
because
so
we're
he
a
brought the
nonprofit
bed
clinic.
bugs to the lab.
Yes.
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now it makes sense.
Um,
Uh, well, at least the guy's gonna know where he is on the A1C level. He's just gonna have to. He's got an A1C and a bed bug issue he's got to deal with.
yeah,
So throw
exactly.
something else into the mix.
Yeah.
So look, in closing here, you're part of the next generation, and congrats on what you're doing. And I know Georgia's not an easy school to get into, nor it is to graduate from. And it sounds like you're excelling there, so that's awesome. Just leave us with, from your perspective, whether it's TikTok and all the videos, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Snapchat. How do how do how does your generation consume information like this that will educate them as well as entertain them? Where do we have to be to reach you and people like you, but people that aren't educated in this
Yeah.
yet?
I mean, my honest opinion is not social media. Like you need to be reading books and you need to be able to learn on your own. I find, and I'm like a creature of habit as well. Like I go on Instagram and I'm doing whatever. You do not know if what you're reading is factual, and that's something you realize as you like mature and like know more. Like I'm learning all this stuff, like all these things in my classes, and I would not be able to apply. Like I wouldn't be able to tell if it was real or fake unless I knew for sure from the teachers that I'm learning from. So my idea would be reading
Yeah.
books and going back
But
to like
getting the people that need to know about this and how they're going to change their lifestyle, you still have to reach them on social media because that's probably where they are.
yeah.
So like your clinical research, and we'll post the notes. Is that something that you're allowed to expose, or is that something that's internal?
I mean, yeah, that it's a research project I did on my own. And I'd love for you to post it.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's all
Awesome.
yeah. But I
All right.
guess Instagram maybe is my answer, but I think people need to
Yeah.
read more. Is my
Yeah.
final.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on. Keep doing what you do and wave the Halo flag for us. We'll get your dad all entrenched in the industry. So the more Bezners we can have, the Bezner. The more Bezners, the better. So
Yeah.
keep doing what you do. We'll see you soon. Thanks for coming on.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Later. Awesome.